What up, though, everybody? This is TPM Sports. You got my familiar face here, but we got T Brew and my boy Ian out today. But not to worry, we are blessed with the presence of my homeboy Fats to kind of come through and give us his knowledge for today.
I know a little bit of something.
Yeah, so we'll get some of his knowledge on some of these sports topics, and we'll kind of go about it that way. So this is what we got on top for you today. Part-time or full-time Kyrie. He ain't part-time no more.
Yeah, he full-time.
He might be full-time. We'll see. It's been rumblings about it, but we'll get into the gist of it. We got DAWG Tide. See, y'all used to hearing about roll tide. Not this time. Not this time. We got DAWG Tide going. Yeah. So we also got a coaching carousel going with all these teams. It's about 8 teams looking for coaches right now. So we got so many coaches available. We're gonna get into what that looks like, what coaches will be going to these different teams, and then we got the 12 versus 12. We got that bad man versus the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Versus the GOAT. I'll give him that.
What's his name?
Thomas Edward Brady. I'll give him that. He got 7 rings. I'll talk about it like that. So we'll talk about the MVP race there. And then we'll finish off with Wild Card Weekend. It's playoff football, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
So, full-time Kyrie. Now, what do we mean by full-time Kyrie? Because from what most people know, he's playing mostly away games, right?
Yeah, due to his
situation. If most don't know, he's unvaccinated.
Yes.
And so the New York and San Francisco, I believe it's San Francisco, are the two that have state laws about vaccinations, and so. With that, Kyrie Irving can't play in home games. He can only play in away games. And, that's that. So he's currently part-time right now. But the reason why we're talking about full-time, why full-time? Well, apparently there's been talk, about Kyrie possibly playing in home games for Brooklyn if they pay a small fine. Now, when we say small fine, it's minuscule at that. Yeah, it's nothing to it's nothing what Byron Scott said. It was going to a goblin. It's really nothing. It's really nothing. It's really nothing to them. So if Kyrie, here's the rumblings. If Kyrie were to play in a home game for the Brooklyn Nets, the first offense would be a warning, slap on the wrist.
That ain't nothing.
Second offense.
That sounds like kindergarten.
$1K, a $1K fine.
That ain't nothing.
To an organization, a franchise. Third offense, $2K.
Sound like a bunch of write-offs to me, but go ahead.
Okay. Fourth offense, hey, I'm gonna give you $5K.
And at that point we tally what we at about 7. That's about what 8,000.
Yeah, right. And then
I don't think nobody's worried about that. Not the big or the net.
No. And then on the fifth one, it's a 5K fine, and then going forward. So every single game after that, you're paying 5,000.
Correct.
And so apparently, some people in an article they did the numbers. They were saying it would be close to I'll just give a number because it was a couple articles. It would be in between 85 to 100,000 that they end up paying.
Right.
Like we said, minuscule.
It's about how many games left in the season.
Right.
It's about 30. What about 30?
30, and then 16 of those it's about 30-some games left, and 16 of those away.
Okay.
So he'll be right.
He get paid to play away.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So here's the thing: if this was now, the NBA is talking Adams the NBA's there's no, I don't really see this coming to this actually happening. But let's say if it were to, how do you think that this would affect the Nets and the league, going forward, if he were able to play away games? I'm sorry, not just away games, but home games. So he'd be full-time.
Full-time, you got to think about the big three. You got to think about their firepower and understand the speedy offense they have. This is probably one of the most explosive offense in NBA history. These three together are about 13-3 this year.
Yeah.
Just the other night, they beat the Bulls by about 30 points, and all three of them played about 25 minutes. Kyrie didn't contribute, but he was decoyed, and you could tell. And it's hard to play against the Nets when he's on the floor, period. He doesn't have to do it. Like, he had about 9 points this game, 4 assists, maybe 5 rebounds.
And they
but
went about 30.
yeah, him being on the floor is just hard for teams.
Yeah, you got to account for. The what's so different between Golden State versus this three is that Golden State they were running a motion offense to get shooters open, and then Kevin Durant is just Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
When you in Brooklyn,
you got to stay with all three of them guys.
These are one-on-one guys, bro, and the fact that they're all. You got to be deferential to Kevin Durant because he's Kevin Durant.
Of course.
He's the one that allowed y'all to come here. So like he's gonna get the ball all the time. But the fact that they willing to like spread this out, like allow each other to get theirs when they need to, it makes it even difficult. I said to myself one day, I'm like, Kyrie's sparing the league right now. For the simple fact that he just don't get vaccinated. Yeah, if this man got vaccinated, the league would be in trouble right now.
Yeah, the Nets will definitely be at the top of the East, even though they are, at the top, but they definitely be in that number 1 seed, especially, like I say, with Kyrie, it's hard to not plan for all three of those guys. So
yeah,
even if you try to switch, this guy's extremely fast.
Right.
It's hard to. The pick and roll game is extremely hard. Dealing with Kyrie is just a hard time having those three guys.
And man, we were just watching a highlight where James Harden was in the pick and roll with Darren Sharp, the center, who was a rookie, by the way.
Yeah, it was tough.
And it was James Harden, Darren Sharp in the pick and roll, and they had Kyrie Irving on the wing. And Zach LaVine was sticking Kyrie Irving. James Harden ran the pick and roll. Darren Sharp shot through the middle. Zach LaVine had an option to either go with the pick and roll, man, or stay with Kyrie. He chose to stay with Kyrie. Why? Because that's Kyrie Irving.
You can't leave him. If he would have left him, would you rather leave Kyrie and risk him hitting the shot, or would you rather risk the rookie making a rookie mistake? I'd rather...
And the rookie got 2 points at the end of the day.
He got his 2 points, but it's a sound decision on from a veteran. It wasn't the best decision, but it was a sound one.
Yeah, and that's just the impact that Kyrie Irving has. So the fact that if this was to happen, like you said, there's no guarantee. It would be interesting to see how the league would react to this, because they'd be going back on a lot of. A lot of things that they're standing for, which is all players need to be vaccinated. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
it's like if if we let one person do this, we gotta let everybody do. So
it's you're opening up Pandora's box, so to speak,
for sure.
With that situation, so that's why I don't see it happening. But like, let's say come playoff time, it doesn't happen, and Kyrie Irving is still doing these away games. Would you pick Brooklyn to go to the finals at least?
With part-time Kyrie or
with part-time Kyrie?
It depends. It depends on playoff time, but I don't think those two could get it done without Kyrie, just because you got in the East you got like Giannis.
Yeah,
he's a complete. Him and KD are matched up. You got him and KD matched up.
Yeah.
James Harden might be matched up with Chris Middleton, and then those other guys that they have, Drew Holiday and those other guards that they have, in Milwaukee, definitely making it hard to get to the top. We got the Bulls, but as we seen the other night, the Bulls definitely got to get somebody that can be a KD stopper, a Giannis stopper, somebody in the East that can get down and get it on. But
yeah, and Zach LaVine just got the knee. The
and we just found that out too, like yesterday, about the Zach LaVine situation. He getting an MRI done tonight, but I definitely think that they can go, but they won't go deep when it comes time to really play big man basketball. In the playoffs, the game slows down. I'm just saying, it's different. So,
it is. Like, here's the thing. Like, you got 2 home games, 2 road games. Hey, we best believe we gonna have to get them road games. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, you gonna
like,
have
all
to
right,
get
you
them
want to
road
do
games.
this? You gonna do this? You want to be stubborn and not get vaccinated?
Yeah.
I swear to God, we better get every single road game. Every one of them.
And you
we
gotta
going
be,
to 7 games, unfortunately, every single series.
You
but
gotta play hard if you gonna only be on the road. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
like,
as long as your head together and you understand what's going on, we should be, able to do something.
Kyrie Irving, if that happens, G, I swear, bro. Kyrie Irving better be spectacular in every single road game.
Yeah,
every single road game.
I'll give him the road games for sure. If Kyrie can assert himself in a way on the road to get them back to the home court advantage throughout each of those series, I think that they can do something. But just down the stretch,
because they only need one home game.
Yeah, they only need one home game. Down the stretch, it can be tough without him. At home, it can be tough. So
yeah,
we'll definitely see. This year's NBA was a crazy NBA. So far.
And it's still so far, and we still got action. So
yeah, still got action.
But yeah, so that's full time Kyrie. We'll see how that unfolds. But dog tied. Let's kind of dog tied. So we all should pretty much know, what that is. Georgia and Alabama met in the national championship game 1 versus 3.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia and Alabama were in a very competitive game in the first half.
Battle of the kickers, we should say.
Like you said, they kicked the hell out of the football in the first half.
Yeah, they did.
And then in the second half, things started to change. Stetson Bennett, Georgia started to wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
And Bryce Young had a few interceptions, and this is
his first time throwing 2 interceptions in the game this season too.
That's interesting. So, but let's kind of start. We'll kind of get to that. That's a good point, though. But let's start. Yeah. Let's talk about what did you think from the game? Like, what did you take from it? Like, how did you think Georgia performed? Like, what did you think about that?
I think Georgia did a good job against a depleted wide receiver core. Not to say. I give all credit to Georgia. They played a great game. Alabama is a hell of a team as well, but they lost one receiver in the SEC game, which was a blow. And then they lost their star receiver in the first half of this game, which led them to their young receiver core. They did okay. They did enough or whatever they could do, especially with the game Bryce was having. I mean, it was a good game, but they definitely was down as far as their receiver. So Bryce had to, rely on his freshmen to try to have a good game. So they did the best they could, but Georgia, in the end, they routed them out.
Yeah. Well, first of all, because we're actually going to get into that, because apparently, with the Heisman winner, not having a good performance, we're going to kind of get into that. But first of all, let's give Georgia credit.
Yes, let's give Georgia credit.
Brian Robinson Jr. He's not the greatest running back yet, but I like him, and they held him to a 3.1 average. And it's very difficult to get anything offensively going when you can't run the football. When you can't run the football, you're pretty much one-dimensional as an offense. So shout out to Georgia's defense to kind of handling that aspect. Yeah. And then
they did a good job with that. They did a good job.
Yeah. And then shout out to Stetson Bennett. He's going. There was talk for him to be benched because they got blown by Alabama in the championship game.
Wow.
Yeah, but. They've actually called to bench him for in a few games actually. So it's not this wasn't the first time he's heard it before, but shout out to him for actually stepping up in the second half, really the fourth quarter, honestly. Where I guess Georgia finally got smart and figured hey, we running the hell out of the football. Yeah. Why don't we? Because Zamir White got a 6.5 average. 12.8 average for James Cook. Yeah. They found out hey man, why don't we just run play action off of the run game since we killing it in the second half? And then Stetson Bennett started completing deep passes off the play action game.
17 for 26.
Yeah, like so.
That's pretty good.
I guess Kirby Smart and them finally figured it out in the second half or whatever.
Kirby Smart he works for Nick Saban, correct?
Yeah, he coached with him.
So this was like a battle with like understudy and coach, So this is like their fourth or fifth time meeting too. So
and this was and he got over the
he been trying to do this for a while,
bro.
So
George, they say I think shoot, y'all can correct me when y'all see this, obviously, but. It's been years since they got a national championship. I think it's 40 something years since they got a national championship.
Is this their first one?
I want to say it's been a minute.
Their first one?
It's been a minute. So out of the way, shout out to Kirby Smart.
Yeah. I think it may the first in 40 years.
Hey, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
And the fact that Alabama has been your Achilles heel, like you can't get past Alabama because that's who you need to get past.
Yeah, it seemed like he finally got Saban down. So let's just
give him his flowers, as y'all would say. So, but here's the big thing though, G. So the Heisman winner, Bryce Young, 35, 57, 369, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. What do you think of his performance? Would you consider that? Would you think that he was too young for the moment? Pun intended. Shout out to T. Brew. Do you think he choked? I'll let you dive into that, sir.
Honestly, I'm gonna put it like this: Bryce Young, hell of a competitor, hell of a player, hell of a quarterback, but he is young. And this is the problem that we face with quarterbacks who come in hot off the senior season of high school, and they just ripping up. They just ripping up the college scene. Bryce Young, he did a good job. He had a slight meltdown in the championship game. It's the first game he threw 2 interceptions in the game. He was working with 2 freshman receivers, so you got to just give him credit when credit is due. He didn't fall to the wayside during the game. He didn't completely blow it up.
That's true.
He just had a bad game down the stretch. It was a kicking game at first in the first half.
Yeah.
Once the second half got going, both the offensives kind of started heating up a little bit. But Bryce Young, overall, it was a good performance. I wouldn't give it an A, but I wouldn't give it a D. Yeah. He played as best as he could out there, especially with what he had.
He had. So
I wouldn't call it a just complete, Now
here's the thing.
Not that. He ain't bomb it.
Right.
I could tell you some bombs. He ain't bomb it. He ain't bomb it though.
So I feel that 100%. Now he also had a game like this against Auburn, where in the fourth quarter he was able to rally against. He was able to rally against a Auburn team and win that game, and that was actually one of his signature Heisman moment. That's one of the reasons actually why he leaped to be the Heisman winner.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, but he also had his receivers in that game.
Yeah, he had his top receivers in that game. So
in the SEC. He was also going against Auburn, not Georgia. So in the SEC championship game, this man threw for he basically broke the record, I believe. Yeah, he broke Joe Burrow's record for touchdowns and passing yards in the SEC championship game.
Oh yeah, that was against Georgia. My bad. I'm telling you. I thought you was talking about one of his regular season games. But he had a wild game against Auburn and shit though, for sure.
Yeah. But then in the SEC championship game, he beat he blew Georgia. He blew the doors off of. He
lost one of his receivers though in that game.
Yeah, but it's that was through I can't remember what part of the game that was. My whole point is that the whole field, I can't necessarily call it choking because there was one play where it was a freshman. I don't know if it was a freshman receiver tied in, but he was wide open. Bryce hit him right on the sideline, and fam dropped it. and it was a walk-in touchdown.
But that's what we mean by that. Like that's how we,
and that's what I'm saying. If that was Jameson or if that was Mechie,
touchdown.
That would be a touchdown. And then we saw what happened when when Jameson was actually in the game. He broke loose for the first deep pass in the game when he got hurt. So I can't necessarily say choked. He should have had a Heisman performance, but Georgia was the best defense in the league for the best defense in college football for a reason. Like you couldn't expect him to pitch another performance against a defense like that. Like that would have if that was Georgia wouldn't have been able to. They shouldn't be on the field if that's the case. If they allowed him to do that again. So like you got to give credit to how Georgia stopped the run game, made them one-dimensional, and made them one-dimensional off the fact that they ain't have all their weapons.
They didn't have all their weapons,
so I mean, it was a imperfect storm for Bryce Young, nonetheless. Yeah. But I can't necessarily call it a choke, though. I'm sorry, T, bro. I love you. It wasn't.
And then another thing too. I'm gonna just say one more thing on that. They was just pressuring him. They was getting pressured down the middle. They was filling the gaps. They was. They contained them. You know what I'm saying? They did. Georgia had the adjustments.
Man, I couldn't. I watched so many plays where Bryce Young, and I mean Bryce Young undersized, Stetson Bennett is too, but like there were just so many times when Georgia was like hitting this man in the face, like with their hands, like after he was throwing the football, like he ain't fall, but they in his face, like the line wasn't even holding up, So the line not holding up, you don't got your receivers. Come on.
He was. Come on. 4 seconds was that like two.
You remember 1.5?
You remember 1,000?
We're not gonna get into that.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying he only had about 2,000 back then. So
1.5.
1.5. It was hard for him. So he did the best. He young,
but he a sophomore. He coming back just like you said. He young. He a sophomore. He'll be coming back. Like maybe he'll learn from it. He already a better prospect than Tua. At me if you want to, but
Tua was my boy, but
we ain't gonna talk about.
Jalen was my boy too. It got real spooky in Bama them years, but we could say
that's another for another day, man, another time. Right. But yeah, let's so that's dog. Let's coaching carousel.
Now I ain't gonna lie, I was waiting on this one.
You was waiting on this one, man.
I got
so we got a lot to talk about these coaches, but first of all, where we want to get started at. Where we want to get started at is the first part of where these teams at. These teams that need coaches. So we got about 7 teams.
The Bears.
You got the Bears.
The Bears. They need a coach.
You got the Texans. You got the
this
Jaguars.
On my boy Torian too. I just want Torian to see this. This is my sweetness shirt, TB. I wore this for you. So. I love you, but this is my shirt, and you enabled me to wear this. It's my sweetness joint Chicago.
So the Bears, we got the Jaguars, Giants, Broncos, Dolphins, and then Vikings. Those are some of the main teams that, and I think there's one more team I can't remember, but I think those are the main teams that need a coach. So let's start here. So out of those teams I just mentioned. Which one do you think, and you don't got to go through all of them, but you could just kind of give me one where you like to see a coach go to in one of these teams?
Honestly, I would like to see Brian Leftwich do one or two things. Go back down to Jacksonville, get down with the Jacksonville Jaguars organization. He was down there. That's why he started his career.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite quarterbacks. Him and Mark Brunell.
And I think that'll be good for him to get back home, get adjusted to being back. They got Trevor Lawrence. They got Trevor Lawrence down there who was sensational in college. I think that'll be a good fit, having a quarterback as your head coach, you coming into the league. Or I would like him to make that trip to Chicago. I think him coming to Chicago, to give us that Lovie Smith feel, Lovie Smith feel, just being having a black quarterback and a black coach in the city, you know, the Windy City, you know what I'm saying? I think that'd be good for us just to see that on the sideline. And they'll be a good one too, you know what I'm saying? As long as these quarterbacks understand that he was a, you know, quarterback and that they can take that in, they can ingest that with him being the head coach. I think that'd be good for him, you know, and he worked his way in the league and around the league. He played for a couple teams.
Right.
So, you know he could be the ultimate player coach.
Right. Yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first talked about it, you said Byron Leftwich, I'm like man, that's he be going home, like he knows the franchise, knows the organization, knows the city, it'd be perfect.
So he spent like his first
7 years enough.
7 years, okay.
Yeah. He's also doing well with Tom Brady. Now, you know, granted it is Tom Brady, but you know that offense is still, they were producing off 5,000 plus yards like under Jameis Winston, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. If I believe he was there. And so like he was able to do 5,000 plus yards with Tom Brady. So like he's proven like he knows the game of football.
Yeah. He can shoot it. He can get it in the air.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like and they want to, and like you'd be going to a great spot. Jacksonville. You got Trevor Lawrence, like a great passer of the football, like and you can actually give that, you know, that organization some direction.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really what it is. That's really what I was going for. Like, I think he can give them a sense of direction and understand where they want to go, because he feel for the organization. He was a part of it, so it's like he got a hard on for them. Him going up. And I think Chicago would just be good because it's the big city. Everybody love coming here, so that's why I picked Chicago. But he definitely should go back to Jacksonville for sure.
Yeah. So me, I like, to be honest, like I would like if I'm going outside of Jacksonville, like I don't like the Bears. I'm gonna be honest. Like so.
Dude.
I don't like none of these teams really. Like, so I could care less. Like, I could care less about some of these picks, honestly. Yeah. But I guess like for the sake of my kind heart today, I don't even know why. I guess it's because you on the pod, the cast with me.
Nah.
But I'm gonna say, you know, Eric Bieniemy going to the Bears.
That's,
you know,
he came from what?
I just don't want to see as much as I feel like Justin Fields needs to improve. I feel like he needs an actual, you know, quarterback coach whisperer that's gonna improve him like schematically and improve his fundamentals. And so like,
you don't think Leftwich would be?
I take Eric Bieniemy because like he's proven it with the Chiefs offense. Now granted they got explosive players. True. But like they're just so innovative over there. Like he knows what to do with them players. Yeah. Like it'll be one, if you got a fast car, you got to know how to, you know, you got to know how to maintain that joint. Like so he has a fast car and he knows how to ride it.
Yeah, he ready though.
So that's why I feel like he'd be a better position for the Bears. But I hope they don't. I hope the Bears get somebody.
They need somebody with some offensive coordination.
And then on top of that, the Bears are actually, for some reason, I don't know why, but the Bears are actually searching for a head coach before a GM, which is as backwards as T. Brew would say. Yeah. Like you gotta you gotta allow the GM to be able to dictate to be able to dictate the man in charge that's going to be running the team that he's overseeing. So you can't select the coach and then select the GM. That's Chicago ain't doing nothing that don't surprise me, G. That's why I don't like them. That's why I don't give no fuck. Y'all lucky, man, G. I swear if the Bulls won, if the Cubs didn't have recent success and the side, like, bro, like, the Bears been doing so much shit ass backwards, man. Yeah, they don't deserve the loyalty of these fans.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you can still be miserable. But anyway,
I mean, it's just I'm at Chicago. We got to ride, man. I got on my sweetness shirt. I'm riding.
I feel you, G. He was riding with him for sure. But, the decision they ain't been making, they ain't been right. But
that's a good one. I like that, Eric. I think he can go.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that for the Bears.
Now here's the thing. Now since we talking about these coaches now, what I want to do is kind of talk about the fact that with David Culley and Brian Flores being the most recent two firings, it's down to one minority head coach.
And that's Mike Tomlin.
Who
has been exceptional with Pittsburgh.
Never had a losing record. That's how you got to say. Never had a losing record. And we can sit here and talk about how like the league is trying to make improvements, and they're doing these symbols saying join with us or run with us, or trying to make this equality thing, or like put and try to show face like they're actually wanting to be with the minority and wanting to be with the walk that our culture is on. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that it's still only one black head coach. Listen, David Culley was on for two seasons. Mm-hmm. And they fired him after one season.
Yeah.
After telling him that the one season wasn't going to be predicated on, like the one season wasn't going to determine his job.
This goes back. It's like, this is a thing where we have to sit back and understand as minorities, and anything that we do, whether it's sports, entertainment, or even outside of the entertainment industry, people usually take things like this, the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
They usually take things like this and look at it as
if you don't mind clarifying like what the Rooney Rule is real quick.
It's basically like a policy that requires NFL teams to interview minority coaches, ethnic minority coaches, for head coaching and senior positions on NFL operations. It's basically like affirmative action. It's crazy, but they made a rule basically saying that teams have to interview minority coaches.
In 2003.
In 2003, it started with Tony Dungy, right? It started with Tony Dungy, who is world renowned, one of the best coaches in NFL history.
First black coach to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. He was fired in Tampa Bay. Then Dennis Green. If you don't know what Dennis Green is, he was the coach of the Minnesota Vikings when they was going hard back in the day. And they fired him too. And they both had winning records, and it made no sense.
Yeah.
And we basically seeing that again this year with Brian Flores.
Yeah. And in my opinion, David Culley. Like regardless of the lack of success that David Culley had, like he didn't even have the starting quarterback. Like, hey, Deshaun Watson is still dealing with allegations. Yeah. Like, so he didn't have a starting quarterback, and then you got nobody because you traded away all the talent. You got rid of all the talent.
You have nobody.
You allowed Bill Bryan weak ass to get rid of all the talent, and then now you gonna give him, you gonna put him in the fire, make him try to have to court Deshaun Watson or try to help Deshaun Watson come back to the team, and then come out with these allegations that Deshaun Watson dealing with. So now you ain't gonna have Deshaun Watson.
I don't know
now
what's
you don't got
on.
Nobody,
yeah.
And then you gonna fire this man after 1 year after you signed him on a 2-year contract. Like that's like I just find that to be so unfair. And then Brian
Flores, he did his job, man.
Yeah, like he did the job. He had nobody. Like,
who was the quarterback?
Exactly.
Tavares, what's his name?
Bro, it's not even the quarterback. Nobody even knew the quarterback coming into this year, bro. So that was just disrespectful. And then Brian Flores, there was a lot about Brian Flores. Like, Brian Flores had a winning record, but there was also talks about how he treated like some players. Like
they said he was too aggressive. Sometimes he he may joke with one player, but maybe not have a joking matter with other players.
Right.
I just think it's a case of sensitivity. Tua came into the league with a broken hip, you know, like.
Right.
So it's just a classic. It's just a classic quarterback versus coach thing. Miami chose.
Yeah.
They chose their quarterback over their coach, who had a winning record 2 years straight, which makes no sense to me. But I mean, we always in a situation where we have to put our backs against the wall to prove ourselves, and even when we up against the wall and prove ourselves, it's like, well, I need you to break the wall down and go in the wall and prove yourself then. So it's like it's no winning unless you like winning at the top, and obviously that doesn't matter.
Right.
So
like you said, it's like the African American basically has to be in a Mike Tomlin situation where you gotta have immediate success, and then on top of that you gotta have continued success, but also be with an organization that actually agrees to that understands what the Rooney Rule is. You know, and the Rooney Rule is a joke. Let's be honest. It don't make sense why you gotta put this in to even make it a rule to even have these minority coaches and you know, general managers considered.
When you're speaking on somebody doing a job, it's like, why does it have to be a thing where it's a minority doing the job? If the job is being done at the best it can be, then it should be.
And then on top of that, 70% of the NFL is black. And like, let's be honest, like we relate to people who are dealing with our culture, dealing with our everyday struggle, everyday life. And we could, like, that's just natural.
We got a way of helping people. We have the way of getting people going in the locker rooms and stuff like that. So it's really just a lose. The Rooney Rule is a lose-lose.
Yeah, it's not.
You can't win with this.
There's no. They can. First of all, let's hold on. I know we kind of we're gonna wrap this up by this. They hired David Culley, first of all, in the beginning because they were trying to appease Deshaun Watson. Because this was before the allegations were starting to get serious. Yeah. Like when it started to get a lot of accounts against them. They hired a black coach to try to appease him. Like, man, we got a black coach.
Yeah, and because I think they're going away from that.
Yeah, and their ownership got a history of actually having some situations where the race was brought up, like them having some issues in terms of race was brought up. Yeah. So the fact that they hired this coach to really appease Deshaun Watson, and the fact that Deshaun Watson ain't there,
it's kind of like, hey, well, you know what we brought you in for, so it's like, yeah, you did cool, but we didn't. It's not. It's like this was never temporary for you. You know this.
And that's speculation, but hey, we can speculate all the hell we want to until we see improvement on this rule.
We could do that. So until we see some black head coaches running up and down the sideline.
That's it, bro. That's it. So speaking of that, the Jaguars have the only minority owner in the league.
And he just fired.
He's messing up. Now, like, bro, he's been doing shit ass backwards too. Like he's not helping the case for minority ownership. Whatever race you may be. So like him needing to improve or him needing to make better decisions would also help the perception or at least help go into the perception of minority coaches and people in ownership.
You got to step in.
That we're competent enough to be able to, you know what I'm saying, to
you
be
gotta
able
protect
to
your head coach.
Yeah.
You a GM, you gotta, if you a real GM, you gotta protect your head coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like this whole with all these, it's about 7-8 positions available. We not saying flood every single one with an African American coach. Like,
but send one to Chicago, right?
I don't care what y'all do, but gee, like, do something, like show, like give it a try, man. Show some show that y'all actually listening, because this. Putting stuff on the sideline saying like all for one and run with us, like, and then y'all only got one black coach and one black minority owner, that don't mean nothing to us, bro. So y'all could keep that in. Y'all could keep that.
Yeah, we see right through that. It's 2022. Like,
Sure.
You gotta keep it real, man. You gotta keep it real now.
Crazy. So we'll see what happens with the coach at Carousel. But let's get right into that bad man versus the GOAT. So, what we're talking about here, this is the MVP race.
Oh my God!
It's pretty much the MVP race. Pretty much came down to the GOAT versus that bad man.
Yeah,
that bad man, that surgeon.
That surgeon on the field.
That surgeon.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna just read some statistics out. So we got Tom Brady, 43 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 5,300 yards, 485 completions, 68% passing, 102 rating, and 13-4 record. That's the GOAT. Shout out to the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
Hey, and them numbers insane. He's doing this at like 42, 44.
He old as hell. Like, he should be in the casket now.
Yeah, he's doing this at a high rate.
Yeah, so I give him that. Give him that. But, yeah, so then we got that bad, man. 37 TDs, 4 interceptions. Four interceptions.
You said four.
I don't think he's never thrown more than like what? I think it's like 9 interceptions, bro. But he's had like 3 or 4 seasons where he's had less than 6. Mm-hmm. But anyways,
a dog.
37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
You said how many touchdowns?
37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 4,100 yards, 366 completions, 69% passing, 112 rating, 13-3 record. 13-3 record. He missed the game due to COVID, and that was actually against the game where they went against the Chiefs. Packers defense held that Chiefs team to 14 points.
Okay.
Jordan Love only scored 7 points that day.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers could have put up at least 21 points. But anyways, Here we go. Who's your MVP, sir?
I mean, I'm going with the GOAT. I'm always go with the GOAT, but I'm gonna go with the GOAT this year just simply because he's doing this at a extremely high level. He took his offense, the weapons that he did have. I think they weapons squared up fairly. I'll give it to Tom Brady on the edge a little bit because he got Gronk. Gronk is like a monster.
He had Chris Godwin.
He had Chris Godwin. He had Mike. He had Mike Evans
for the most part.
Yeah, he had Mike Evans for the most part. He had AB when AB wanted to play football.
When he wanted to play football. Emphasis on that.
So, but I definitely give credit to Aaron Rodgers. His efficiency is insane. He's extremely efficient. He understands the game, and just don't close your eyes. Because it get real with Aaron Rodgers. I definitely give him his respect. But Tom Brady, he locking it up. He'll be bringing that home for sure this year. He passed for 5,300 passing yards, which is. I mean, this is Tampa Bay, so they always been gunslinging it. And they got the dog back there. They got Brian Leftwich. Him sitting next to Tom Brady is just like, 1-2. So I'm gonna give it to Brady, man. Completions, he got about 485 in completions. Aaron Rodgers at about 365. He got almost 200 more pass attempts. So it gets steep, but Aaron Rodgers got 530 pass attempts and he got about 4,200 yards. That's efficient.
Yeah.
So
here's my thing. Like, I'm glad you brought up the point that Tom Brady is in an offense that put up 5,000 yards with Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston 30 for 30. Let me talk my Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Now, I'm always biased on Aaron Rodgers, so here's the thing, and I don't give no fuck. Excuse me. I don't really care. But here's what I say. I feel like that Chiefs game, the fact that he wasn't there, people could say, well, that should be a discredit to him, the fact that he didn't play. But I should feel like that should increase the importance of the fact that he needed to be on the field because their record would look like 14-3.
They lost that or won that? They
lost 14-7. And 14-7 against the Chiefs.
Now, if they would have won that, he would have had a better record than Tom Brady this year.
He would have. But also, hear me out on this.
But
hear me out on this, too. He also sat the second half against the Detroit Lions. Mm-hmm. And he threw 2 tutties in the first half of that game and finished with 37. So, and they lost that game.
Okay.
So, if he would have played, I'm pretty sure they would have beat the Lions. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have beat.
So he would have finished with basically a 16-2 record if he would have 15-2 record if he would have played all the games. Now these are ifs, I get it. But at the same time, Aaron Rodgers is not the reason why Tom Brady has over 150 more passing completions.
Yeah, like 150, not that much.
Is because he's in a passing offense. Mm-hmm. Like clearly, Aaron Rodgers is in a run game that's predicated. That's in it's offense predicated to the run mostly.
Right, to the run.
Yeah, let's be honest. Like,
I mean, Tampa Bay ran a little bit.
They ran it a little bit, but Leonard Fournette, I feel like his best asset is probably him receiving the football.
Yeah, I'm out the backfield slot.
He be out here serving.
He be going off.
So you got that too. Yeah, man. Like on top of I take like Devontae Adams, Mike Evans. You could probably watch that. Like they 1-1.
They 1-1.
But Tom Brady lost Chris Godwin, 3 games left in the season. Yeah. Chris Godwin is better than every single other receiver the Packers got outside of Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
He also lost. Aaron Rodgers also lost his tight end early in the year.
Who put the ball in place for it to? You got to understand. He did have a lot of setbacks.
Aaron barely had his offensive line too.
Yeah, they only had a slight line, but just for how this year was going down, and for what we seen out of Tampa Bay last year, they came out with the same intensity even more. And Tom Brady does what he does, if not more than what he did last year. So I just think he's just stepping it up. I think he's just pushing the envelope with this.
Well, if that's the case, man, look, all I want is my revenge. Hey, Tom. NFC Championship. We want our revenge.
No slack.
We want that smoke. We want that smoke this time.
We'll see.
You got us 2 times. 2 times. Early in that year, and then in the playoffs that year, in the championship game.
Okay.
Not a third time. No, sir. No, sir. We ain't had this bad man ain't happened.
He ain't never heard a third time's a charm. He ain't never heard of that. So he might get introduced
I don't like charms. So I don't like Lucky Charms.
Don't trip. Don't trip.
But that's a 12 versus 12, man. Let's get in the wild card weekend, baby. Wild card weekend. It's playoff football.
Bop.
It is an exciting time in the year.
Bop.
Unfortunately, football is coming to an end, so we got to salvage this as we can. So, producer Will.
Yo.
Can we get right into these picks, man? Who we got coming up for playoff weekend?
Most definitely. We got games Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday, we got Raiders at Bengals.
Raiders at Bengals. So, who you got, my man? You go first, man. You the guest host.
I'm going Cincinnati. You know that. I'm going Cincinnati.
Oh, Joe Burrow.
You know that. Big dog stepping up to the plate doing this thing, man.
Listen.
I don't see it happening for the Raiders, man. They should have just let, who they got, David Carr?
Derek Carr, yeah.
Derek Carr, same thing. But you know, he was supposed to be a, he was
that's not fair,
he
man.
was trying to leave the game a couple years ago he turned to the church. He wanted to be a priest. And I think Cincinnati might send him off this year. So we'll see.
Bro, oh man, that's funny.
Yeah. That's a real true story. John Gruden. We ain't gonna say his name. We ain't gonna say his name too loud.
All time, man.
He brought him back. So
I say Derek Carr wasn't David Carr. Like he was a step up. He was a step up at least. But you know what I'm rolling with? Cigar. Joey B, bro. I've been picking Joey B. I've been picking Joey B all season, bro. For the most part, I'm not rolling.
Dog, man.
I'm not rolling against him.
He got that heart in him, man.
Cincinnati. Oh yeah, and You got T Brew pick?
Yeah, T-Brew. I'm say that at
T-Brew?
the end, man. He big dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool,
Shout out to Brewski.
Man, we ain't worried about him right now, man. We got our picks. Let's go.
Next game, we got Patriots at Bills.
Patriots at Bills. So, isn't there supposed to be? There's talk about it's going to be a cold. It's going to be a cold game. Like it's supposed to be like 0 degrees. Like whatever. Anyways, weather's supposed to be it's supposed to be funny.
A factor, yeah.
Yeah. But you know what though? Who you got, bro? Yeah,
It's gonna be high scoring as hell.
You think it's gonna be high scoring?
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be high scoring. Both teams average more than 2.5 points per drive in the regular season. You know what I'm saying? The league average was about 2. They both got top 10 defense. But I'm rolling with the Patriots, bro. I mean, not the Patriots. My bad. I'm rolling with you. Ready for me to lie? I'm going with the Bills on that, man.
Oh snap!
You know, Shorty and I'm over there doing their thing, and they coming up, man. I'm just excited to see all the new, quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks coming in. Yeah,
it's fun, man. It's real fun. Sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Bills. It's in Bills Mafia. I'm gonna go Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bills.
I mean, they both cold weather teams, so it's like.
Yeah, that don't matter. But they like the weather is gonna matter though.
Yeah.
The weather will matter. But shoot, Josh Allen got a bazooka on his arm.
Real talk. He cold.
Like
he
that
cold,
thing.
bro.
That thing shoot for
He
real.
cold.
But yeah,
They got my boy Diggs over there still, right?
Oh yeah, come on.
Yeah, dog, big dog.
Yeah.
All right, then we got Sunday, Eagles at Buccaneers.
Man, it's unfortunate we can't use like our toilet. We got like a toilet bowl that we use, but we can't.
Oh yeah, I could use it.
Yeah, but I mean, is it really
It's
for
the playoffs? Yeah,
It's the playoffs.
Yeah, for
if you want it,
yeah, for the Eagles, I give it for the Eagles.
just for the Eagles.
Just for the Eagles. It's a toilet bowl game because I feel like, man, it's it's playoffs any given Sunday. We love that movie, I get it, bro. But it's like, come on, G.
Come on.
Like the Cowboys got the 49ers. That's a matchup.
That's
a
good
matchup.
game.
Cincinnati versus Oakland. That's a matchup.
That's a good game. They got
Bucks, man.
They got the Niners.
Bucks, man.
Go ahead, because it's crazy right now.
Bucks.
I got the Bucks for sure.
Oh.
Okay. I don't have to say nothing. I think everybody in here know this.
Next game we got 49ers versus Cowboys.
So, you go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Dallas.
Okay.
What you mean?
Yeah, I mean,
But Dak coming off his injury, I gotta give it to him. He had a nice year. I'm going with Dallas, bro. CeeDee Lamb, baby. Hey, ain't nobody. Hey, CeeDee got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
I just think that Dallas got a better chance. They coming out firing. They shooting it. Zeke, I don't know about Zeke. Zeke ain't been Zeke since 2016, 17. He ain't been right for about 3
it's
about 3
It's
years.
been some time. Yeah.
But hopefully he'll pick it up and get it going. But I definitely got Dallas. But San Francisco ain't no punks though.
Yeah.
But I've been rolling with Dallas since week 1, so I'm right.
All right. So, shoot, I actually think San Francisco will win. Like them, like bro, they a problem, bro.
Yeah, I mean
They a problem. So San Francisco.
You think?
Plus, I want them to come see Green Bay so they could like lose and see like they should never like they should have drafted Aaron Rodgers from the first place. But yeah, 49ers.
You think they gonna be a shootout?
Nah,
Okay.
24-21.
Next game we got Steelers versus Chiefs.
Can we get a toilet bowl for the Steelers?
Just
Please?
for the Steelers.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like this was like just God being like, Ben, I'm gonna make sure you hang it up this year. So I'm gonna get you in the playoffs, and so you can have your last hoorah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely finna end this week. Yeah.
Pittsburgh
Chiefs.
ended the season ranked in the bottom third of the league for efficiency.
Oh, so Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chiefs definitely for sure. I give it to the Chiefs. Yeah. Chiefs, they got Chiefs by negative 12.5.
Chiefs.
Then we got the last game Monday night, Cardinals at Rams.
Another good game. See,
Great game.
like Bucks, Eagles. Wow. But then but then you got all these other matchups. But it's seeding whatever. So this is a big game. This is a big game for Kyler Murray and Matt Stafford.
Definitely Murray, because he get to do something early on in his career. You know what I'm saying? If he can do this against a power charged Rams team who just wild right now, you know what I'm saying? That could be big for him, or it could be a big win for the big dog, Matt Stafford. You know
he
what
got
I'm
a bazooka too. Well, his more like.
But we've been seeing him with.
He got
Megatron.
to show it.
Him and Megatron had wild highlights. So we've been seeing what he could do. But Murray needs to be cool.
Who you got?
I got the Rams.
All right. It's a good game, man. But like,
What you think?
Arizona Cardinals offense too basic for me. Like they don't do like they too basic. Like that spread that ain't always gonna work.
That ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work deep in the playoffs, man. So Rams.
Okay.
Rams.
All right, just so everybody know, T-Bro did message me about his picks. He picked all the home teams. Everybody at home, he think every team that's home go win.
Is that what we pretty much
cool.
picked?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
You did San Francisco. And I want to say something too.
Yeah.
He said 21-24, right? San Francisco?
Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah.
They got him in the books +3 San Francisco way.
I'm telling you,
you might want to bet that, my guy.
Hey, man.
You just predicted what the
I was right on the Thursday
my
night,
boy.
man. I might be right.
Hey, you might want to put that in, my guy.
I'm ask y'all one quick question.
Yeah.
If you could replace one team from each conference with another team, who would you put in? Who would you take out?
Replace one team, like
Put
put an NFC team.
No. In the playoffs. What team didn't make the playoffs would you
okay.
replace with a team who did make the playoffs?
I like to see Baltimore.
Oh, because of Lamar Jackson. That's
you
true.
know what I'm saying?
They did, yeah.
Who would you take out?
Who would I take out?
That's a good question,
That's a great question. All these teams
feel
I
like this
in,
would
I
be
actually, so it's like I actually wouldn't take none of these teams out, honestly. But I would love to just see Lamar play. I don't know, but all these games are top games.
Yeah, hold on.
I would sit down and watch all these this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like these are some good ass games.
I instantly say I mean first thing come to mind would be Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I take out like the Patriots, I guess.
Yeah.
But the Chargers just lost to the Raiders, and like the Raiders.
What about the Eagles? Would you take the Eagles out?
Ooh, I would take the Eagles out.
That's not fun against Tampa Bay. We know it's
yeah. So then you right. So then who would you replace in the NFC for the Eagles then?
Let me see. Against Tampa Bay, right?
I mean, if you replace them, that's
they be playing.
Right. I don't know. None of these Green Bay trash. You know? I ain't on there with you. I mean, these are some good games. I actually wouldn't. I like Jalen Hurts too. So I would like to see if he do some wild. He get wild style against Tom Brady. That'll turn the whole NFL upside down.
I guess a healthy Vikings team.
Or I was gonna say a healthy Atlanta. What'd you think?
Nah, they get work.
It's just funny to see it happen again. Like people thought he was gonna beat Tom Brady. Like
it'll get work.
Yeah, okay. That's really what I was thinking about. Tom Brady getting wild on him in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so I probably
a
healthy Vikings team, and that's a
good pick.
Yeah, Vikings versus Bucks. That'll be a better game
for sure.
But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for us, ladies and gentlemen. This is TPM Sports. It is your boy Adrian. And
Your boy Fats. Hey, TB.
T-Brew, we love you. Ian, we already know what's up. We'll see y'all next time. We out.
For sure.